Hey there, before we jump into the episode, I just wanted to talk about this week's sponsor. Every week I've been actually sponsoring things that I'm sharing with you because I don't have any other sponsors, but I just want to make sure that the things that I have available to you are at your fingertips. So please make sure if you're not part of our Flourish group, which I talked about last week, definitely jump into that because I really want to start growing that community and I would love for you to be part of that. This week, I've talked a little bit about my Done For You business, and I have an amazing PDF that talks all about it. So if you're not like a video person and you just really want to read it and see what it's all about, I have that special gift for you. It's a free PDF. It has all of the details. So I will put the link in the show notes so that you can grab that if you want. And there's definitely some ways that you can have some freebies as well. If you do anything online space, you'll love like the free reels that I have for you as well. So you can check that link out in the show notes. And of course, always contact me if you have any questions. I hope that you are having a fabulous week and let's jump into the episode. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am so glad that you are here. This week is going to be a little bit different because I'll be honest, this entire week has been a little bit different, a little bit longer, a little bit out of the ordinary for me. And so I really just didn't resonate or feel like I wanted to share the things that I originally had planned to talk about on the podcast today. And so I'm going to share a little bit from my heart. So if you're watching on YouTube, if I decide to come up with a quote or a verse or something like that, it might not go up on the screen. I don't even know if I'll do that because it would be from from my memory because I don't have anything really written down. But I really wanted to just step into the space with you today. It's something that I learned this week, and it's really been working through it on my heart a little bit. So many things. I don't even know where to start. But this week has just been a bit of emotion for me because nothing major, nothing like really, really big or, terrible. Like there's no, I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful because there's not a lot of crazy in my life. But there are some things that are weighing heavy on my heart and have been using up a lot of my attention. So if you follow me at all on Facebook or on my other social media, you'll see me talking a little bit about my daughter. She got an apartment and she'll be moving out soon. So she's the baby. And so as much as I'm excited for her, that's going to, tugs at the mama heart a little bit because it's something different, even though it's not that far away and she's going to be home. It's different because I'm going to go down the hallway and look in her room like I normally would do, to wave hi or say hello if she's there, and she won't be there, so those are emotions there, and we're very close. So I will miss having her around, but it's good and it's exciting for her. My son is currently home right now. If you follow me, again, you know that he is a performer, he's a singer, he's a dancer, and so he has a very different kind of life. And so we are so awesome. It's so awesome to have him at home with us, and we're eagerly waiting for him to continue to see what's next for him. And so there's that emotion there because you want to see him be able to do the things that he wants to do and excited for them, but also know that eventually he's going to leave. And so there's that kind of that tug and pull that goes along with that. And then actually this week we decided to move my mom into a retirement village or just with a little bit of assistance. And so that is a very, very big step because it's going to change her life in a lot of ways. And as her daughter, wanting to make sure I'm there for her and guide her through that, I want to make sure that I am steering her in the right direction. And I know, and I'm so grateful that there's places like this that she can go to, that she can get the care that she needs, but still be able to have a better quality of life. And so we were actually in the hospital a little bit this week, and I was so thankful for the wonderful nurse. And I just want to give a shout out. If you are a nurse, I thank you for what you do, because that is not in my wheelhouse at all. I see blood and I kind of faint, like I don't do well with it at all. But she was just so right, because she encouraged my mom about that assisted living and said, you're healthy, but sometimes we need to do things like this so that we can have a better quality of life. And I just loved how she said that. And she was so kind and gentle, and just listened to my mom, but was patient with her and just encouraged that nudge. And it wasn't like, you have to do this or you should do that. And she actually reframed it and said, yes, you're doing this, but look what this is going to do for you. And so that's really awesome. But again, those emotions have been going all over the place, in my heart and my mind, because like I said, they're not awful, terrible things, but it's part of my life. It's something that is affecting me. And so I honestly didn't have a lot of time to be, out in my office or my mobile office this week. I was doing a lot of other things that are out of my ordinary, with some appointments and again, that time that we were in the hospital. So I was really worried, like, oh, well, what am I going to say about my podcast? Because I really want to make sure I show up every week, because that's a commitment that I've made, not only to myself, but to you, that I try to show up every week. So I thought, I'm just going to share a little bit, because I think we can all learn from how to navigate through those times. Like last week, I talked a little bit about that in the newsletter, and last week's podcast talked about, how we can prepare through things that might be a difficult time. And then I was thinking a little bit more about just where my life is generally. So this year I turned 50 years old, and I would say that some things have worked out how I thought, and most often, like we all, we think certain things will be one way and they turn out a different way. And when I'm thinking about all the things that I'm going through this week, had I not stepped into the changes and made the changes in my life that 6.5 years ago, I might not have navigated, or would be navigating through this the same way that I am right now. When I stepped into my health journey, that's exactly what it was. I was ready to, release some weight. I was tired of doing it on my own. Everything I was trying wasn't working. I just was feeling like a failure. I didn't think that there was anything different that was going to happen, but I really knew that I wanted to change. I knew something needed to change in my heart. Something needed to change in my life, because I didn't want to continue to live on the way that I've been living. So this week I was on a training from one of the mentors that are in my life, that's recently been in my life. And we were talking about the people, the clients, the people that we like to serve, people like you that are listening to this podcast, and what it is, who are they? What do they need? Where are they at? I talk about this often, this quote, "You are most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." So I was like, yes, this is who I want to talk to, and she asked different questions to make sure, because I want to make sure that the content, the things that I'm sharing with you every week in my social media and on my podcast and the course that I'm putting together, I want to make sure that it's reaching your needs. And the person I look at is that person that was like me, she is someone that felt like I did, right? Felt like there was no change. There was no hope really for a change, that she thought she was going to be stuck there. But when I was talking to this mentor and sharing what I, wanted to share with other people, there was something that she brought up that I never really thought about. And it really actually helped me in a lot of ways. It kind of made me frustrated at first, I'll be honest, because I'm like, I know who I'm talking to. But one thing that she said was that when I'm talking to you, if you're listening to a podcast like this, most likely you are already wanting to live a better life. You are wanting to live a flourishing life, because you wouldn't listen to my podcast if you weren't already wanting to make those changes. And so when I started my journey, I just wanted to lose weight, but I was introduced to a whole idea of personal development, that I could be something different. I had the Lord in my life, and I knew that I was created in his image, but I think I didn't really believe that about myself. And so when I was thinking about who I want to help, I wanted to help the people that were like me, that thought there was nothing going to change. But when she said that, I realized one of the things she brought up was, but the people that you're talking to are people that have already made a decision that they want something different in their lives. And I was like, oh, she's right. You wouldn't be listening to me if you didn't want to make any changes. If you didn't want something different for your life, then you would be not interested at all in what I have to say because you weren't ready. You weren't there. And when I made that decision, when I emailed my coach and said, hey, I need some help, I was ready. I didn't want to have the excuses anymore. I didn't want anything to be in the way. I wanted to make the changes. I didn't know that I got to not only lose weight, but then have this whole huge area of personal development where I get to continue to grow. I didn't know that was the path that I was going to take. And I've said that so many times, like, I didn't know that this whole world existed, and you most likely, if you're listening to my podcast, you already know that this world exists, but then there's so much more that we can learn because I'm still learning 6.5 years later of a way that I can really step into who God has made me, understand my worthiness. And I will slip back and forth through that. I'll let those soundtracks, those negative ones, play over and over, saying that I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough for this, and get in that comparative reality. Like all those bad habits will come right back so easily. So it's so important to continue to grow and to learn. So I want to make sure that what I'm sharing with you is helpful to you. So this week it's a lot about me, but I'm hoping that the things that I'm sharing might help you. They might just spur you on to look at what things that you could do to continue to grow. I want to be in that place to help you. I've gone through a lot of growth, a lot of change. I've stepped into what was in front of me and said, hey, I want more and I want more. And so that's what I want to do is I want to help you step into that more that you want for your life. So I'm not saying you don't want to be content. That's a very different issue. That's not what I'm talking about, but really understanding who you are in Christ and really stepping into that greatness that you have, and then learning those habits, learning how to implement the things that are important to you to grow, the ways that learning how to make time for yourself, all of those things that were all brand new to me. But the key was my mind was open. I was ready. And so when she said that, a lot of things made sense after I got over my ego being hurt a little bit, because I thought, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about or who I'm talking to. That bothered me. But then the more I thought about it, it was true. I see that even with my health coaching business. I've noticed a lot of shift and change in that business. And I have those people that are raising their hand, like, I'm ready. I want to learn this. I want to grow. I want to change. And they are ready and they're all in and they make that decision. They don't let excuses get in their way. They stay connected with me. They're like, okay, be my guide. Let's walk through this together. And then I have some that are ready, but they're not quite ready. They say they're ready, but the excuses come in and it's hard. I'm not putting anybody down, but I've noticed a difference with the people that have clearly made that decision. They are very clear on why they want to change. And so then they're ready to make those steps forward. I used to think that I was not a good coach or that I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do in order to support them. And so when people would not follow through with their plan, or they would fall off and not follow through with the goals that they had for themselves, I thought, well, maybe I'm not doing a good enough job. Now, I know that there are times that I didn't do what was right. I'm a human. I make mistakes, and I definitely am not perfect. But I'm able to recognize the difference. Like, some people say that they want something, but they're not really ready to fully commit to that, to make that change for themselves. And sometimes it's because they have so much doubt that they can do it, that they just let that doubt speak louder than what they actually can do. And so that is why so much I stress with the clients that will talk to me on the phone, the ones that will engage, that want the coaching, to say that, it's that mindset piece that is key. We can eat, and there's all kinds of food and things that we can eat, but if we don't get what's figured out between these two ears, right? If we don't work on developing our mindset and reframing the way that we are seeing ourselves, the way that we're seeing food, the way that we are interacting with other people, that we're going to just go on a diet that's just going to maybe lose some weight, and then you might bring it back. this week was a good example of that. If I had not had the work that I had done in my heart, in my mind, then I might have completely let stress overtake me this week and eaten all the things, like go to like that peanut butter, that chocolate, the things that you want to go for, like the big old bag of chips. Those are things like those comfort foods that we'll go to because it's simple, it's easy. But I was able to learn how to maybe grasp my emotions a little bit more and look at what I can control rather than what I can't control, and all those different things that I share about each week, about stepping into gratitude, being able to obviously go to the Lord and pray and give it to Him, surrender it to Him. And so I'm not saying I do things perfect, but I am also saying that I'm learning these tools and I share these tools with you every week because I know they can help. I know they can make a difference. I know I was all over the place today, and hopefully what I'm sharing has been helpful to you. But I just want to challenge you to say, are you stepping into what you say that you want to do? Are you fully in? Are you all into what you want? Or are you sort of doing it? I kind of want to do this, but I want this more. Like, what do you want? Because I think that when we have that clear vision of what it is that we do want, it really helps us have that it makes it easier to step into those decisions that we're making one little decision at a time, one little millimeter at a time. We can make those steps towards what we want to create. And so that is my goal, getting through this week, getting through all this emotion and the craziness that's going to happen in the next month as we get my mom moved and settled and my daughter moved and settled and all those different things. I know that I want to really have that focus and be able to clearly connect with the things that I know will help me stay on track, that will still continue to fill my cup, that will continue to help me navigate through the things with gratitude because of those things that I have learned and are part of my life, that are part of my MO, right? And so my hope is to help you learn those habits, to help you make those second nature so that you're not running to the bags of chips or the peanut butter and the chocolate chips or whatever it is that you want as far as food, or maybe it's shopping, or maybe it's something else that you go to, when you're feeling down. And I'm not saying that we're not going to feel our emotions. We definitely are going to feel them. Believe me, I've cried quite a few times this past week. But what is awesome is that I've been able to okay, release that because it's important, but then focus on what can I control? What are the things that I can do right now? And help me walk through that and know that though the end is scary and it seems big and seems unattainable sometimes, I know that every little baby step is going to move me forward. So, my friends, thank you for listening to me. I hope that I didn't ramble on too much, but my biggest hope is just, as I say every week, that I really want to help you see that you're worthy and capable of more. And then I want you to have that full and flourishing life. And so once you are ready to step in, once you're ready to take charge and say, I want this change, then hopefully together we can build those habits to create the life that you want. So please pass this on to anyone you think it would help. As always, leave a review or like it or whatever it is to make sure that you let me know that you are hearing this. Send me a message back. I would love to know. All my information is in the show notes because I would love to know what it is that you want me to share with you. How can I help you? What is it? What was the one thing? Oh, I would love this. What is the one thing that has spurred you on to saying, hey, this is what I want to create my life. And so this is why I start listening to podcasts. This is why I want to grow. I would love to know that. I would love to know what it is that drives you, what keeps you going, what excites you to step into this whole world of creating that full and flourishing life. My friends, thank you again for listening. Have a great week. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and would love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.